Yo, what is up, guys? It is Nick with the Notorious Fantasy back at today with another fantasy football video. In today's video, I got Week 14 running back rankings. Now, before I hit you with these running back rankings that are based off of the PPR format, so if you're playing standard or have PPR, make sure to leave a comment down below. I always make sure to answer. So before I get in the video, I'd like to give you guys a word from my friends and my sponsor over at OverlayDFS. OverlayDFS.com is my favorite way to play daily fantasy football. Now, they allow 10 max lineups in each contest. Obviously, I typically play the progressive game, and the reason why I play the progressive game is because if you're in the top 10%, you win 9 times your buy-in. In the $2.5 game, that's $18. In the $22 game, that's $180. And in the $109 game, you hit that top 10%, you get $900. But here's the kicker. If you hit that beautiful 12-0, which you're going to be striving to get in the $22 game, which is obviously, guys, the game to play, you could hit over $9,000. By the time it is Sunday, it may be over $10,000 if you hit that beautiful 12-0 and all of the stars align. Obviously, there are other people in the contest, but it's pretty much just you versus the board. You only really have to worry about your score and the score that is going to get you to hit that cash and that top 10% money. So, obviously, guys, I'm going to show you how it works real quick so that you have a better understanding of it. You're going to be making 12 picks plus 3 alternate picks. Those alternate picks are so if someone gets hurt, then that matchup gets voided, and then you just take one of the games from your alternates. You're also going to be making it so you put them in order of how confident you are to get more points for the tiebreaker if you and someone else happens to tie. So obviously at the top, you would want to put the games you're most confident in. It's pretty much just player versus player. It is not that complicated. Who will score more fantasy points, Lamar Jackson or Pat Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins? And my favorite thing to do is stack some players. So I like to go with 2 players on the same team. You can go with Aaron Rodgers, right? I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a big game, so I also am going to match him with Devontae Adams. So if they both have a big game, that's an easy 2-0 there for me. So make sure to check out OverlayDFS.com, link down below in the description. Come join me. I will be playing this week. I play every single week. It is going to be a blast. Let's go. And we are back. Make sure to check out OverlayDFS.com, link down below in the description. Let's get right into this Week 14 running bike rankings. Now, at number 1, we obviously have my boy, Run CMC. Now, I know last week he kind of had a down game. People would be like, Nick, you fucking idiot. You had him ranked at number 1. He didn't finish as the number 1. Are you fucking dumb? Christian McCaffrey is fucking terrible. He had one bad game, and the game wasn't even that bad. You idiot! And that's what people think. They get pissed off because Christian McCaffrey has one bad game. He had an okay game. In this game, up against the Atlanta Falcons, I predict a skull fucking of the century. The Atlanta Falcons defense just is not that good, and I think that Christian McCaffrey will be able to perform and clap them up. Lock one time if you are with me. I like Christian McCaffrey this week at the Atlanta Falcons for my number 1 quarterback. He's a running back. Coming in at number 2, we have Nick Chubb going up against the Cincinnati Bengals, and I predict a full fucking Chubb Viagra 6 times like Dan Bilzerian until your fucking heart explodes type of Nick Chubb in this game. I love him. Love him against the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals defense is fucking atrocious. Nick Chubb is going to be able to part them like the Red Sea and run all up and down that defense. Coming in at number 3, we have Leonard Fournette. Now, in my humble opinion, I don't love Leonard Fournette. I'm going to be honest with you guys. At the beginning of the season, I really did not love Leonard Fournette, but Doug Marrone, they just love handing the fucking rock to Leonard Fournette. So I believe that just off of volume itself, he becomes a top 10 guy pretty much every single week in my rankings, or at least top 12 due to this volume. Volume is king in fantasy football. He's actually been getting a lot more looks out of the backfield, catching a lot more passes than I perceived at the beginning of the season. So I really like him this week up against the LA Chargers. I think he should be able to run all over that defense. So I like him this week coming in at number 3. Coming in at number 4, we have Derrick Henry going up against the Oakland Raiders in Oakland. Now, Derrick Henry is Mr. November and Mr. December. Once it gets cold, once it gets a bit nippy in Tennessee, Derrick Henry just gets the rock a million times, rushes for hundreds of yards. It's fucking crazy. And it's fucking December now. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is coming out. It's almost fucking Christmas time, guys. And Derrick Henry is going to ball out up against this Oakland Raiders defense. The defense is fucking terrible. Derrick Henry gets the ball so many goddamn times like Leonard Fournette that it is unreal. I really predict that Derrick Henry will have a huge game this week at the Oakland Raiders. Coming in at number 5, we have Melvin Gordon go up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, Melvin Gordon is obviously the premier back on that team. Obviously, Austin Eckler is great in PPR and has opportunities to score on the team, but Melvin Gordon is the guy to own. And up against the Jacksonville Jaguars, a game that may be a bit high scoring if Minshew can get it going. I like Melvin Gordon in this game coming in at number 5. Number 6, we got Dalvin Cook going against the Detroit Lions. Now, right now, it seems like Dalvin Cook is going to play. Yesterday, I thought that fucking Alexander Madison's going to play, and now Dalvin Cook's saying he's going to be fine. These doctors on Twitter, they tell me he's fine, then they tell me 2 to 3 weeks, and then they tell me he's fucking good again. And if he's good to go on Sunday, you fire him up. Even if he only plays half of a game against the Detroit Lions, he could run for 20 fucking fantasy football points in the first half of the game, so you better believe you are going to play him this week coming in at number 6. Coming in at number 7, we have Alvin Kamara, Mr. AK, going against the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I know Alvin Kamara has been a disappointment this season. He has just not been performing all that well, whether that's from injuries or just not getting a lot of touches on the field. Latavius Murray has looked pretty good. But with that said, I think Alvin Kamara gets a lot of use in this game up against the San Francisco 49ers. They are going to need him to beat a tougher defense in the league, so I like him this week to get a lot more volume and a lot more usage in this game. Coming in at number 8, we have Le'Veon Bell going up against the Miami Dolphins. Now, I know a lot of people will be thinking, Le'Veon Bell just really has not been performing all that well either. Obviously, in my opinion, he's a lot better than Alvin Kamara this season. But, he gets the Miami Dolphins this week. Adam Gase should be able to devise a game plan where Sammy Mono hands the rock to him 20 times or passes it to him 5 times so that he could find himself into a top 10 fantasy football start. I like him for like about 20 points in this game up against the Miami Dolphins with super high upside because the Dolphins defense is not all that good. We saw the Eagles run a train on them, even though the Miami Dolphins ended up winning the game. Coming in at number 9, we have Aaron Jones going up against the Washington Redskins. Now, obviously, this is the premier matchup for Aaron Jones to just get the rock a million times. Aaron Rodgers might throw 3 touchdowns, but Aaron Jones, the other Aaron on the team, may be able to touch the rock so many times because they'll be in the game will be fucking over in the second half, and they just hand it to Aaron Jones a million times. So strictly off of that, I think Aaron Jones should be able to be great, and I think he's going to be able to find the end zone this week up against the Washington Redskins. Coming in at number 10, we have Miles Sanders going up against the New York Giants. Now, I finally recently, just actually earlier, when I was looking at the numbers, I just realized that the fucking Giants defense is so bad, and if Jordan Howard is out, Miles Sanders last week balled out against the Dolphins. He could do the exact same fucking thing against the Giants. He should be able to skull fuck the Giants defense, so I like him as a top 12 running back on the week. Coming in at number 11, we have the other running back in the Monday night game, Saquon Barkley, going against the Philadelphia Eagles. And just like Alvin Kamara, Saquon Barkley has pretty much been a fucking bust this year, guys. He hasn't done shit. And with Eli Manning back at the helm, I'm not too confident Saquon could even touch the top 10 because of that. I think they may be so out of this game, they may have to fucking throw the ball a lot. And I'm not sure Eli can do shit. But Saquon Barkley has the talent to be a top 12 guy, so I'm going to put him at number 11. But I'm not ultra confident in it. Coming at number 12, we have Josh Jacobs going against the Tennessee Titans. Now, obviously, when you're watching this now, I'm recording this at 2 a.m. last night. You guys are watching this the fucking day later. Or technically it's the same day, but you know what I mean. You guys are probably watching this like 1 p.m. I made it last night. Josh Jacobs, I'm not sure if he's going to play or not. In my humble opinion, I would think he would play up against the Tennessee Titans, a game they need to win, a game where they could potentially get into the playoffs if they continue to win these games. So I like Josh Jacobs in this game if he's healthy. He's been really consistent thus far this season. He's had like 1 bad game out of the last 5. It was not last game, but the game before he really just underperformed. Last week he was standing there like Derek Carr fucking wide open. That's literally what he was doing. He was waving his hands like a fucking crazy person, and Derek Carr just didn't find him. But in this game up against the Tennessee Titans, I believe if he plays, you have to slot him in to your lineup. Now on to 13 through 24. If you guys have enjoyed thus far, please make sure to go down below and click that subscribe button. Coming in at number 13, we have TG31, Todd Gurley, going up against the Seattle Seahawks. He might be number 30 or 31. I don't fucking know. But with that said, Todd Gurley should be good up against the Seattle Seahawks. Last week, he touched the rock a bunch of times against the Arizona Cardinals, and I like him this week up against the Seattle Seahawks. He's just been going under the radar for a lot of people. You know he has the talent, but that injury has been honestly taking him back a lot this season, getting a lot less work. And the fact that the team just isn't that good means that he won't get enough work. But in this game up against the Seattle Seahawks, I think he will get a decent amount of work. We saw earlier in the season when these 2 teams play, Todd Gurley had a good game, so I like him again this week against the Seattle Seahawks in LA. Coming in at number 14, we have Mark Ingram going up against the Buffalo Bills. Now, obviously, you might be thinking, Nick, the Buffalo Bills run defense is pretty good. They played it pretty good against Zeke last week. Zeke didn't do amazing last week. How is Mark Ingram going to do anything? This, that, and the other thing. Mark Ingram is going to do fine. The Ravens, while having Lamar Jackson be the MVP of the league, are still a run-heavy team. And Mark Ingram, even up against a tough Buffalo Bills defense, a game that I think will be high scoring. I think Mark Ingram still has a great game this week in Buffalo. Coming in at number 15, we have Afro Man Philip Lindsay going up against the Houston Texans. Now, Philip Lindsay has actually been pretty consistent. I like him with Drew Lock. It seems like these younger type of quarterbacks, you know what they do? They rely on dumping the ball off, whether that's to Noah Fant or Philip Lindsay. Those are going to be his two dump-off options. I think Philip Lindsay gets a lot of work in this game up against the Houston Texans, so I like him this week to come in at number 15. Coming in at number 16, we have the second back on the LA Chargers, Mr. Austin Eckler, going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And like I said, I think this is a great matchup for Melvin Gordon. I think Austin Eckler will be able to perform in this game as well. Obviously, a lot more in the PPR format because he is much more of a pass-catching back. But in this game up against the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think he just does fine and is a RB2 on the week. Coming in at number 17, we have Devontae Freeman going up against the Carolina Panthers. Now, I'll admit when I was wrong. Last week on Thanksgiving, I believed that Devontae Freeman was going to be useless for this team. And he honestly really outperformed that. He played quite well, scored a bunch of fantasy points. But in this game up against the Carolina Panthers, I'm not sure if I'm ultra confident in buying into it again, but I will definitely start him this week. I think he's good for about 10 to 15-ish points in this game up against the Carolina Panthers. Coming in at number 18, we have Chris Carson going against the LA Rams. Now, last week, many of you guys may have been pissed off because Chris Carson marched his way down the field. He gets them right to like the 10, and then Chris Carson says, "Get in there, Rashad Penny." Rashad Penny runs at a touchdown. Chris Carson could have had 2 touchdowns. You could have skull-fucked your opponent, but then you ended up fucking losing, and you're pissed off, and you're crying, and you're sad. And don't get sad, because if you're still here, week 14, it's the fucking playoffs, or it might not be the playoffs yet for you guys. Next week may be the playoffs. But with that said, I love Chris Carson in this game. I think he has a big game, but I am a bit worried because they are using Penny a lot, and he may end up vulturing another touchdown this week, so I got him at number 18. Coming in at number 19, we have the 30-point man, James White, going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I am the number 1 James White supporter. From the beginning of the offseason, the fantasy football offseason, to now during draft season, I said James White was going to be a great asset for your fantasy team, and he has been. He's been ultra consistent. He had one bad game. It wasn't last week, it was the week before. He put up a dud, pretty much a goose egg, 0.9 points in PPR. Terrible fucking game. But in this game up against the Kansas City Chiefs, he's going to get a lot of dump-off balls thrown his way, a game that could be a high-scoring game. So I believe that James White will be able to perform in this game. I like him as definitely a safe option, a guy that's going to score you 10 to 12 points pretty much every single game. Coming in at number 20, we have Joseph Mixon going up against the Cleveland Browns. Now, Joe Mixon, there's a bit of confusion when you go to start Joe Mixon because he's on the Bengals, and he was so shit for the first half of the season. The last couple of games, he's been balling out, but the first fucking half of the season, he needed his fucking Huggies. I ordered extra Huggies from Costco, and that wasn't enough. I had to go to fucking... I don't even know where else you would buy Huggies from. Fucking Babies R Us. I had to get more Huggies for him. And he kept shit in the bed. He got through that. I had to go to Stop and Shop. Stuff like that. He was just so bad that I needed all the types of diapers. That's how bad he was. But now, he's been on a fucking roll. And in this game against the Cleveland Browns, I like him to be a solid RB2. Coming in number 21, we have Devin Singletary. Now, last week, he caught the pass from John Brown, threw a fucking rocket to him. He caught the ball. He played a great game. But this week against the Baltimore Ravens, even though I think this has potential to be a high-scoring game, the Bills may get down fast and get down early, and that would mean that Devin Singletary would not get the rock all that much. I think he's a safe option to get you 8+ points, but I wouldn't necessarily put this as a game where I think he could explode and score you like 25 fantasy points. Coming in at number 22, we have Karate Kick Kareem Hunt going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, obviously, Kareem Hunt is a great option if you're in a PPR league. If you're in a standard league, just fucking put Kareem Hunt in the closet. You don't want anything to do with Kareem Hunt if you're in a standard league. He gets a lot of his work in the passing game. He's going to be getting dump-offs. He's going to be lining up as a wide receiver, doing these fucking slants, doing these out routes, doing whatever, and scoring points for your fantasy team. And up against the Cincinnati Bengals, I think this is a perfect matchup for Kareem Hunt to have a good game, and I got him as an RB2 this week. Coming in at number 23, we have Kenyon Drake going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, last week, even when they were down, even when Kenyon Drake really wasn't doing shit. The coach, Mr. Cliff Kingsbury, said, you know what, just keep giving the rock to Kenyon Drake, and they kept hammering it with him. Even with Chase Edmonds active, even with David Johnson active, they kept giving the rock to Kenyon Drake. So I better believe that he is clearly the RB1 on the team, and clearly against the Pittsburgh Steelers, a game they may be able to actually get into, he will be able to get a lot more work in this game. Coming in at number 24, we have Jamal Williams, Mr. Great matchup, going against the Washington Redskins. Now, Jamal Williams has a case of being the backup running back on the team. Obviously, Aaron Jones is the starter, but Mr. Matt LaFleur, as I like to call him, just is an asshole. He just likes to use two backs on the team. He's got two backs on the team, so he uses both of them. So with this split against the terrible Washington Redskins, I think both these guys could definitely have great outings. So I got Jamal Williams coming in at RB24. Now on to 25 through 32. So if you guys have enjoyed thus far, please make sure to click that subscribe button down below. Coming in at number 25, we have Sony Michel going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now I do like James White a lot more because I think this may be a higher scoring affair where they're going to have to be passing the ball. But if they're running the ball a lot, Sony Michel could have a great game. Obviously, he's a lot safer than these guys because he will get the ball a lot in this game. Coming in at number 26, we have Benny Snell going against the Arizona Cardinals. Now, if James Conner is ruled out, he is ruled out pretty much. He's not fucking playing. I like Benny Snell. This Arizona Cardinals defense, they play like they fucking close their eyes. They're doing the fucking bird box challenge, trying to fucking tackle you. They just let everyone get through, and I like Benny Snell in this game, having two great games in a row. This is going to be his third good game in a row. Coming in at number 27, we have Darius Geis going against the Green Bay Packers. Now, I know Darius Geis, I wrote him off last week. I said he had one good game like 3 weeks ago, and then he had a bad game, and then I wrote him off last week. I said, fuck you, Darius Geis, you're terrible, you're not going to do anything for my team, and he balled out. He said, fuck you, Nick, all right, and he played well. But this week, up against the Green Bay Packers, I'm not sure he is a great game, so I'm going to put him down here, but in PPR, he's going to be getting a lot of looks out of the backfield and getting a lot of touches, so that definitely warrants him being a top 32 kind of guy. Coming in at number 28, we have Rashad Penny going up against the LA Rams. Now, I know, I said I thought that Chris Carson was going to have a good game, but Rashad Penny still gets enough touches to warrant being a top 32 guy. And if you're in a really quite the pickle, you can go ahead and put Rashad Penny into your lineup. Coming in at number 29, we have Bo Nose Scarborough going up against the Minnesota Vikings. Now, he's ranked number 29 because I see him as more of a safer option. Obviously, there's the carousel of backs on that team, Bo, Ty Johnson, and friends in the backfield, but I still think that Bo Scarborough is good for like 7 to 8 points, so it's obviously a really safe pick back here at number 29. Coming in at number 30, we have Patrick Laird going up against the New York Football Jets. With Kalen Ballage now on the IR, Patrick Laird is getting the opportunity to perform as the number one back on the team, so I like him this week against the Jets due to the fact that he's been getting a lot of volume in the last two games, so I like him this week up against the New York Jets. Now, at number 31 and 32, we got the two backs for the Kansas City Chiefs going against the New England Patriots, LaShawn McCoy and Darwin Thompson, respectively. Now, in this game against the Patriots, I am a bit worried about both of these guys because I'm not sure how much they're going to be running the game or how much either of these guys are going to be getting volume. But at the end of the day, I do like them to be kind of deep league options to play as your flex. So thank you guys all for watching. If at any point you ended up enjoying this video, please make sure to click the subscribe button down below. Make sure to check out OverlayDFS.com. Click on one of the videos on the side, down here. There's a subscribe button right here. Make sure to have a great rest of your day. I love each and every single one of you guys. Goodbye.